And I said that if I were to put myself in the shoes of Brenda, just starting by intuiting the laws of logic and go from there, and God being superfluous, then I think that works fine, even though it might have you might have some issues later.
David, if you abandon the Christian God,
I don't abandon
reasoning. Even I'd like to finish my statement without you bulldozing over me, David. Maybe you should show a little bit of respect there. It's not nice to bulldoze.
Go ahead.
If you hypothetically abandon the Christian God, I would just like for you could do that for the sake of argument. I certainly wouldn't do that, because that would be a violation of God's commands, that we are to be imitators of God. So if you were pretending to reason like an unbeliever, you certainly wouldn't be imitating the mind and character of God. But let's suppose that you want to violate that principle. Then I can just treat you in terms of your reasoning just like you're an unbeliever. So tell me how you can reason or ascertain that anything is the case if you don't start with the absolute revelation of Christian God. Go ahead, David. Tell me how you can determine that anything is the case. Go ahead. I mean, your reasoning is very schizophrenic today. You're flip-flopping in between the Christian worldview and the non-Christian worldview, and I don't understand why.
You ask these questions without borrowing from my worldview?
No, I could temporarily assume that logic is dependent on Zeus to do an internal evaluation. For example, I can do an internal evaluation. I could do an internal evaluation of any worldview and temporarily assume it to do an internal critique. You can do that.
The problem is that
hold on a second. You can do that. You can do an internal critique of any worldview while temporarily assuming that it is a case, and then moving from there to see that if it's internally consistent. Now,